So I'm about to show you how to build an application funnel that can easily scale to 100K per month. If you're wondering what an application funnel is, it's basically just a normal VSL funnel but improved, made in a way that converts more. And I'm gonna break down the exact system that generated one of my clients $25,000 in just 7 days at 15 years old. And I know that I don't really look like it, but yeah, I am 15 years old. I am still in school. So if it works for me, if I was able to make one of my clients 25K in 7 days, I'm 100% sure that it's gonna work for you too. So if you're a coach already making money, or you have an existing audience and you're not running VSL funnels, or it's just not performing as it should, you wanna watch this video because I literally get into all the nitty-gritty stuff that you can implement as soon as you finish watching this. Today most coaches that I see are grinding themselves into the ground, like taking calls back to back, closing people manually in the DMs for hours, wasting a lot of times on creating the wrong content and stuff like that. But if they only had the right systems in place, they could be making over 100K per month while working a third of how much they're working now. As an example, one of my clients was literally grinding 6 hours every day just on sales call and DMs. He was making decent money, but he was completely burned out. And after implementing this VSL funnel system, he's now making 5 times more what he was making before, and only spends maybe an hour a day on his coaching business. And here's what people really get wrong about these funnels is that they think application funnels are this insanely complicated thing, like you need to be Iman Gaji or Russell Brunson's to write copy that converts, or you need some Hollywood production team to shoot your stuff. And none of that is true, because VSL funnels that work best right now are super super simple. Simple scales, fancy fails. So I don't want to bore you guys too much. Let's just get into the video. So it should be good here. Now, there are 5 core components that I'm gonna be breaking down in this video today in order to make 100K with your VSL funnel. And by the way, just to show you that I'm not lying, this is just proof of the 25K in 7 days, so that I'm not lying to you. Now, first things first, we want to get into the landing page, because it's honestly where most people screw up their entire funnel. If you have a bad landing page, it's gonna completely mess everything up and nothing is gonna work, even if you have everything else in place. So, one thing you gotta realize is that messaging on your landing page is the most important thing. How you talk to people is literally what determines whether a good lead full of money is gonna enter your funnel, or a broke guy is gonna go through the buying journey. And when a guy like this enters your funnel, you're just gonna waste time, money, and resources. Your sales team is gonna be calling up leads that don't have money. Your retargeting ads are gonna go towards people that don't really have money, and you're obviously gonna waste time. But when someone like this, full of money, enters your funnel, you're gonna make a ton of money. There's no doubt about this. Your messaging is literally the number one thing. So you can honestly have the best VSL in the world, but if your messaging attracts skeptical broke people instead of qualified buyers, you're never gonna make money. It's as simple as it sounds. You gotta have the right messaging. And honestly, the biggest mistake that I see in VSL landing pages right now are crazy guarantees, or just showing off the guarantee too much on your landing page. An example is, we'll help you get to 10K per month in 90 days guaranteed, or we'll give you $1,000 back. And even though it might look like a good thing, highly skeptical individuals who feel safe because of the guarantee are gonna be attracted and are gonna be interested in your offer. And you're gonna attract people who have been burned before and that are just looking for safety, and really don't care about making a transformation. They're not bought into your system, they just bought into your results. So it's gonna be way more hard to close that lead, and you're probably not even gonna close the guy. And what you wanna think is that rich buyers look at guarantees and be like, I've been messed up so many times by people who offered guarantees and still didn't get results. So this guarantee is too good to be true, or that cannot be true. So you gotta basically think about showing off your guarantee as this. You don't wanna do it too much. You wanna do it just on sales call and when people bring it up. Apart from that, you don't wanna have a huge flashy headline talking about your guarantee. Instead, you want to describe the conditions of your ideal customer without being direct about it. Example, this is a document that I give to my clients. You don't want to say, are you stuck at 6 figures and want to hit 7 figures, apply now. What you want to say is, if you're stuck at a couple thousands dollars a day in ad spend, and every time you try to scale bigger, your costs climb and your ROAS drops. People that run ads understand these things. Pay attention to what I'm about to say in this VSL. So this is basically what you want to do. Instead of just having a guarantee, you want to target your ideal customer. So someone who is not only in your ICP situation, but that also has money. So what we're doing here by saying, if you're stuck at a couple $1,000s in ad spend, we're basically targeting people who have money. Because if you're able to spend that much on ads, you're obviously someone who has money. So this is kind of what you want to do. And your landing page structure should be something like this: an headline over here, then you want to have a video, which is going to be your VSL. Testimonials, this is super super important. And then a CTA, which going to be clear and simple. So your headline should describe their condition or problem specifically. This is the number one thing you want to do. If you want to have a sub headline too, you gotta add context or removes a major objection. So let's say you know that a lot of people from your audience tried a lot of business models out there, but nothing worked. So what you want to say is, here's how I went from trying every online business model out there, losing thousands, to making, let's say, 500K per month and 19 with this business model here. And on the sub headline, you could say, without any expertise or experience. So this was just to kind of give you a better understanding. Then you want to have your VSL, which gotta have a clean thumbnail just like this, and it gotta look like a real person talking on the script. You don't wanna be an NPC, because this is honestly the number one thing that gets people skeptical. You just wanna be dropping value, talking like a real person as if it's you. If you have someone else to script your content, make them understand how you talk first and who you are as a person, and then you can have them script your video. For the CTA, again, it gotta be simple and easy to understand. It gotta be literally the easiest thing on the sales page, because you gotta think that people are monkeys. So I want to make this super super simple. And then we clearly have testimonials, where we increase trust and credibility. Obviously, we don't just want to show crazy results, like, let's say, student hit 10K per month. We don't just want to show the best results, because the people are not going to be relating to that, but we want to show every kind of result. So the smaller one, the bigger ones, literally everything. And this is kind of how you want to structure your landing page. So now that we have our landing page dialed in, obviously we gotta have a great VSL, because this is honestly um, what is gonna do most of the selling. So the script needs to follow a very specific structure, and every part of your VSL matters. And this is exactly the framework that you wanna follow for a VSL. So one, you wanna start with a strong hook that incites curiosity. Example, here's how I was able to go from a broke college student to 100K per month at 20 years old, thanks to X business model or X mechanism. Uh, Second, you want to bridge into a great education portion. So you just want to drop a little bit of value selling on your unique mechanism. Three, you want to create problems or amplify their pains. Fourth, you want to bridge into your solution. Fourth, you want to bridge into a smooth start of the page. You want to break down a limited time page with scarcity, like we're taking all the X amounts of spots. Then you want to make the offer reiterate 3 times, and at the end you want to have a fact section to answer all fears or objections or concerns. So this is mainly the framework that you want to follow. So for the hook, you want to make them a really specific promise and tell them exactly how long the video is going to be. Like, in the next 25 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact method that took my clients from 15K months to 60K months in 90 days. You want to be really specific with time, because it really sets expectation and reduces uncertainty about how long they will need to commit. Because if someone cares about your offer or who you are, they're gonna watch the VSL all the way through, no matter what. So you wanna say how long the VSL is. Really important. You wanna make the VSL unskippable, so there you don't have to have the line down here. You want to make this unskippable. They can pause it, but they cannot go back or go to the end. And this is obviously to just ensure that everybody watches it all the way through. Then you got problem agitation. This is where you want to dig into their pain, but make them feel their pain. Don't just list problems. You want to actually make them feel the pain that is in their mind 100% of the times. Example, your working hours on X pain point. By Friday, you're exhausted, you have no energy left for your family, and you was part half of those calls don't even show up. So let's say you have a show rate problem, half of those calls don't even show up, and the ones that do show up ask you the same questions over and over. So this is basically a huge pain points that someone in the info space would have. You really want to paint the picture of their current reality, and when someone is listening through this part, they want to be nodding along, thinking, yes, that's exactly my life right now. That's exactly how I feel. Because if they feel like their situation, they're gonna also believe that you can help them get out of there. Because obviously, if you know what they're struggling with now, you're also gonna know the solution to get out of the struggle. Now, after this, you got solution introduction, where you wanna introduce your mechanism and not your offer. You just wanna sell them on the vehicle first, and then you wanna sell them the offer. Because for someone to give you thousands of dollars, they gotta believe in your vehicle first. They gotta believe that your vehicle is the only way that can get them from point A to point B, and that there's no other way to get there. Then you want to have a proof and a credibility side. So you want to stack your proof, and you want to show client results with specific numbers and timeframes. Example, client A was doing 5k months doing X pain point. So that could be, if you're trading, you could say it was doing 5k per month, staring every like 12 hours at the charts. And then we gave him the full blueprint and want 129k without being glued to the charts every single day, and while being able to go out and live their life. Month 2, 44k. Month 3, X amount of money without payment. So this is kind of what you want to do. Then you want to introduce the offer once they trust you completely, and on the offer you want to focus on transformation and not on selling the features, because clearly nobody cares about your 10 modules, or nobody cares about the one-on-one calls. You basically want to sell the outcome, and you don't want to sell the features that can get to the outcome, because clearly people don't really care how they get there. They just care if they can get there. And eventually, when they gotta pay thousands of dollars on the sales call, they will care how. And it's the closer's job to actually break it down. So you could say, inside this program, we're giving you the roadmap until you get to 30k per month. And then you got the close, which is the CTA, where you want to create real urgency and give clear next steps. This is super important. Again, you gotta feel like you're talking to little monkeys, especially if you're selling B2C, just because a lot of people are actually gonna be stupid. So you wanna give them clear steps. So you wanna specifically be like, click below to apply. And also, what you wanna do is you wanna create real urgency and scarcity. Example, I'm only taking 10 people. When spots are filled, you're gonna wait until the next quarter. If you want access, click below to apply now. And people are consuming longer VSLs now, just because they're getting tired of all the flashy content that there is out there and all the guru style of content. So people are getting used to more raw, longer VSLs. And 25 to 35 minute VSL are doing better than 10, 15 minute ones, just because longer VSLs, they give people time to actually understand the offer and get comfortable with it. Another super important thing that you want to do with your VSL is you want to add chapters. Just like a YouTube video, you want to have chapters. Trying to force someone to watch your VSL is literally stupid, because when you add in chapters, they can skip to the parts that they care about, which actually increases the chance they apply, because they got to the information they needed. And I know that this like doesn't really match with what I said about being unskippable before, but you still want to make it unskippable, but simply you want to make parts, just because probably someone is gonna pay less attention somewhere and more attention somewhere else. So this is basically what you wanna do. Now, you could really literally cook a crazy good VSL with AI in a matter of just a couple of hours, without spending thousands of a copywriter or spending thousands of hours actually scripting it. So I'm not gonna read through all of this. You could just mix up these two prompts here, and it's gonna give you a fire response if you work on it a little bit. Now, third point, now that you got the VSL and landing page dialed in, is gonna be the confirmation page, which honestly is the most underrated part of VSL funnels. Because what people think most is that VSL does all the work, and if my VSL is good, I'm eventually gonna book calls and make money. But when someone thinks like this, they're always the ones making no money, because between someone booking and the actual call, there's time and there's a huge gap where doubt can creep in, questions can come up, other priorities can take over, and this eventually ends up in you getting a lower show rate. Because clearly, if you don't make them see how important the call is, when something better or funnier is gonna show up, they're obviously gonna prioritize that thing over your call, and that's why your show rate is low. Now, the confirmation page solves all of these problems. It makes sure that no doubt creeps in. You make sure that no questions come up, or it answer questions, so that the closer doesn't have to handle 100 different objections on call. And it basically helps people do the research before the call, instead of them going to look on YouTube or looking on IG for things. We're sending them stuff to actually do their own research on our program. So you want to have a main confirmation video, which is 2 to 3 minutes long, and you basically want to set the expectation that you're gonna educate them before the call. So you want to be like, check your emails, because I'm gonna be sending a lot of valuable stuff. Or what you wanna do here is you wanna get someone nurtured. You wanna make sure that they add their call to the calendar. So calendar, and this is important. You wanna make sure that they respond to the dialer that is gonna call them up. You wanna just get them hyped, and you wanna make sure that they eventually read through all of the emails that you're gonna send, so that when they show up to the call, they are already pre-sold. Now, we got also breakout videos. If you don't know what breakout videos are, it's basically every single common question that your sales team gets, you wanna put it on 2 to 5 minute long videos on this page, and you're usually gonna have from 4 to 12 of these, where you basically answer any objection or questions, so that again the sales team doesn't have to deal with that. And obviously you wanna show testimonials, and again you wanna show average results and not just your best case scenarios. And all of this stuff here is gonna make sure that the lead shows up ready, and especially ready to buy. But we're making sure that it shows up ready, they are ready, believe in our mechanism, and that they just need a little bit more clarification on the offer, and then they can give us money. So this is basically what these videos do, and this is usually what you want to have on your page. If you don't know, want to have 4 to 12 of different videos on your page, you can just do a simple Q&A one. This is what I have for my client. I just have a Q&A one that we update with time. So now let's actually understand the email sequence that you want to have after someone books the call. So again, there's going to be some time between booking and the call, and you want to aggressively nurture people with emails. You need to be super super aggressive with education. You want to send the first email immediately after the book. Thanks for applying, here's what happened next, check out this video about specific relevant topic. And it might be a case study, it's usually like the Q&A main confirmation breakout video, just and sent again. And the second email 4 hours later is gonna be like, let me tell you about client name, they were skeptical too, here's what happened, and you wanna link them to a case study. Or if you don't even have like crazy or that many client results yet, you just want to show yours, you make a video about how you scaled from X to Z, um in just X amount of days as a beginner and you want to break their beliefs. Email 3 is going to be the next day where you want to handle a major objection. Example, a lot of people worry about common fear. Here's the truth about that. Email 4, next day PM. You want to show your unique mechanism. Here's exactly what working together looks like. Step 1, we get you onboarded. Step 2, you watch the course. Step 3, you start making money. That's kind of how it is. Email 5, which is the day before the call, AM, you want to show more proof. You want to give them another client story with specific results, usually tied to a link to watch the case study. Email 6, you want to set expectation. Our call is tomorrow. Here's what we'll cover. Come prepared with specific things. That could be like make sure to show up in a quiet room, ready to focus, with a notepad with you, or we're basically making them prioritize the call and making sure that they're gonna show up. And email 7, morning of the call, you want to share the final reminder with value. So today's the day, quick reminder of what we're gonna talk about. And then obviously you got your 1 hour before one, your 30 minutes before one, and obviously all of your manual ones that the closer or the end setter is gonna send in the WhatsApp group that you're gonna create. Because if you don't know about that, when a lead books a call and it's qualified, the dialer is gonna call him up, make sure that he's qualified, make sure that he actually got the money. He's gonna add him to a group chat with the closer where they answer any objection or they send reminders manually for the call. Now, obviously, as you could see here with this example, every single email provides value, and also you want to address expectation and overcome the questions that come up within the booking time and the actual call. And this is clearly what we're doing here. You just want to answer any objection. You want to address everything that might be something that might be a reason for them not buying or not showing up. So this is the end goal. Now, clearly, not everyone who's gonna watch your VSL is gonna apply immediately. They're obviously not gonna watch your video instantly and click on the CTA here. They're usually not gonna click on it, especially if they came through cold ads. And that's what retargeting and follow up are for. Retargeting ads are basically like ads that you wanna run to everyone who watched at least 25% of your VSL but that did not actually apply. Retargeting at number one could be testimonial. Retargeting at number two could be scarcity. Retargeting at number three could be objection handling. And you want to run this for 7 days after someone watches your VSL. You know, you want to target someone for 7 days after they click on the page and watch at least 25% of the VSL. And honestly, I literally implemented everything that I just showed you for one of my clients. And that's how we were able to make $25,000 in 7 days with a super, super, super unqualified audience. And I'm also 15 years old. So there's no reason on why it shouldn't work for you. If you don't believe that these Discord messages are real, which by the way they totally are, you can just see the payments coming through. I literally showed a bank statement. This is something that you cannot fake. I literally just gave you the full blueprint to $100,000 every single month with your application funnel. If you want to know more about how it works, or you're someone watching this video thinking like this sounds great, this looks great, but I don't have time to actually implement all of this stuff by myself because it actually takes a little bit of time. And especially if you have an actual business already running and you don't have time to manage all of this by yourself, just booking a call through the link below. There's a link there. This is exactly what I help my clients with. We handle literally everything from the funnel, the content, all the way to the sales team managing, the hiring, literally everything. And the only things that you do are content and fulfillment. And this is how exactly my client was able to go from zero to $25,000 in just 7 days with a simple funnel. And if you're an online coach that has an existing audience, or you're looking to scale to 50, 75, 100K per month, just booking a call through the link below. I'm gonna give you the full roadmap to get you there. And apart from that, thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure to check the one prior to this because it's super valuable, and you're also gonna get a lot of value on that too. But apart from that, thank you so much for checking out this video and see you in the next one.